AgweekTV, presented by Kaler Farms.
This is the time of year many of us like to hit a favorite fishing lake, but that's caused big problems for some farmers and landowners in northeastern South Dakota, where high water has turned some fields into lakes. The lakes are attracting sportsmen, and some landowners say it's an unwelcome intrusion. State lawmakers took up the issue at a special session in June in the wake of lawsuits by landowners to close access to the lakes. Mikkel Pates has more.
They may look like lakes, but to the landowners, it's still their farms. Since 1993, heavy rains have created dozens of lakes that are prime fishing spots and problems for many farmers.
We're trying to figure out the balance in terms of the public's access to use this water that is over flooded private land.
There are no outlets to drain these lakes, so they'll be there until they evaporate. The new law passed by the South Dakota legislature is a compromise. It reopens 25 bigger fishing lakes and allows landowners to either open or post dozens of smaller lakes.
I'd say it's far from a perfect law, but it's going to help some of us. It's not going to help all of us, but it's a better place, I would say, than where landowners have been for the last 20 years.
Recreational fishing and related businesses have expanded as the South Dakota Game and Fish Department has stocked the lakes with fish. While that's good news for sportsmen, it's caused tension with landowners.
I think it's our job to protect the rights of the landowner. And I'd say that Game and Fish essentially trampled on the rights of the landowner.
The problem is that people, are trying to get access to it by probably some fairly inventive means, whether it's launching boats off of township and county roads, trespassing across private land to get there, parking problems, you have people blocking approaches.
Bob Whitmire says 300 of his 1,100 acres have been underwater for the past several years. He's lost farm income, but he still has to make the payments and pay taxes on the flooded land. But by law, he hasn't been able to stop anyone from trespassing on it and using it for recreation and fishing.
The idea that I'm on my way to work Monday through Friday to not only pay the taxes on that property, but to pay off the title. And while the public is enjoying it, is a huge insult, but also this is your home. And if that becomes public, it's also snowmobiling. There's also waterfowling interests and other recreation that comes to mind.
One problem with the intrusion is that inundated cattle fences or posts create a liability problem as a public nuisance. The bill sunsets in 2018, so the legislature is sure to take up the issue next session.
It changes your whole aspect of what it means to live in rural South Dakota. If your property is some kind of a conditional deed, is your property wet or is your property dry? And if it's dry, it's yours, and if it's wet, it's ours.
In northeast South Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.